Hey, everybody. I'm Kelly, and I'm here with my pal, Anita Joyce, and this is the podcast, Decorating Tips and Tricks. Welcome to episode 284, Color Trends for 2019. Buckle up. We're getting into the new year already.
Oh, yeah, and I'm excited about these colors, Kelly.
These are, I have to say, right up our color alley.
They're beautiful. And, because
they are beautiful.
sometimes I scratch my head at some of the color choices and think, who came up with this one?
Yeah, because these are not like colors of a scarf you might add once in a while. These are colors that are being suggested for you to paint your walls and significant portions of your home. So, some colors just, they have no business being colors that are suggested for your walls,
Right, right. And there's some colors that are great in small doses, but you don't want them splashed all over your wall.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
So I think, this is a nice selection. So I'm excited to talk about them. And I'm ready to get going.
Yeah, and I'm excited to try the ones I haven't tried already. But the color trends for 2019, and we really sort of the jumping point we're using for this episode is the Benjamin Moore color of the year. A lot of you may have heard of the Pantone color of the year, which is oftentimes like a little out there, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, who's making that up? And I did research one time because I was like, who is Pantone? Not the shampoo company, not Pantene, Pantone. And there's some company in New Jersey, and they make something that goes into paint. I don't know how
additive.
I don't know how they became the arbiter of the color of the year, but you know what? I mean, maybe Nita Jean and I can start the color of the year too. And it'll be like, oh, the DTT color of the year. Maybe we should do that. We'll think about that for 2020. But anyway, Benjamin Moore jumped on board, or maybe they were doing it before as well, but they do a color of the year. And this year it is from their Affinity collection. And the name of it is Metropolitan. It's Metropolitan AF, that delineates the collection, the Affinity collection, and the number associated with it is 690. Metropolitan.
And guess what color it is? It's gray.
It's gray. Let me tell you what Benjamin Moore says about it. I love it. I mean, I love words, and words are so powerful. And
really, I would have never guessed that you like words. This is new information for me.
I like to. And I like to say them and write them and read them. I do love me some words. So I thought this was just fabulous. This is some woman who works at Benjamin Moore. And, I think her first name was Erin. So kudos to you, Erin. Well wordsmithed. Mm-hmm. So she says that this is what Benjamin Moore has to say about Metropolitan. It emanates nuance, harmony, and extravagant ease.
Oh.
Always adaptable. It softens to matte or shimmers with sheen. Neutral, understated. It just is. This color is off duty.
Or it's gray.
Okay, in a nutshell, that's how Anita and I talk. She'll be like, okay, I got it. And I'm like, yes, but let me just say one more thing about it. She's like, yep, I got it. Okay, yes. So I would say all this.
Why say
not as beautifully as this woman. And
why say 5 words when you could say great. 200? You know what I mean?
It's the lawyer, babe. They used to say, okay, how many words did you say today? This is, we'll write you a check. Here's your paycheck. Getting paid by the word. I got used to it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's a gray. It's kind of I would say it's a soft gray. It's not a harsh gray. And I think it's a nice,
a
lot of times these color of the year colors, like we said, are not colors that are really colors that we like. And it's the kind of silly colors to be putting on somebody's wall. But this is actually a color that I would say probably people have been using a lot. It's kind of a nice soft gray,
it's
not too
really
light, not too
pretty
dark
color.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like a greasy gray, isn't it?
Yes, that's what I was going to say. It kind of reminds me of my agreeable gray, Sherwin-Williams. So it's a very soft gray. It's kind of a putty gray, which is really a color. The reason I chose the putty gray is because it works so well with golds. And because I have country French style, I have a lot of gilded frames.
Yes.
So you really need something that's going to work well with gold. So this, I think, would be a nice color with gold. I think also the problem with the grays, and I think the reason grays have gotten such a bad rap is because people have chosen very cold grays on the wall.
Have they gotten a bad rap?
Well, in some areas they have, and they've chosen kind of the service station gray that's kind of a little
cold. Like primer. Yeah, primer.
Yeah, and kind of a little too blue.
Yeah.
But I think this one would be a lovely one. So I would recommend this one. And I mean, this one, it's actually a practical color because like I said, sometimes the colors you look at them kind of like the runway in Paris, you're thinking, well, no normal person would wear something like this.
Right.
So, but this is a color that people would actually use. And I think it's a color that we see a lot right now. And it kind of surprised me because gray has been popular for so long. I thought that they would feel like it was not exciting enough.
Yeah, it's not exactly an envelope pusher, but I think that was the whole thing when I was reading about it. And even they have a little YouTube video about it and like, basically showing like a really hectic, busy city street and people with like all sorts of things going on around them. And then all of a sudden it's someone diving into this like kind of sepia toned water and there's like, oh, and so they're trying to evoke this calm, but yet a sophisticated color. And I do like this sort of gray reminds me of, sort of the bathrooms in the Ritz-Carlton, there's something elevated about it. It is glamorous in its understatement.
Well, it's interesting. They show it on the Benjamin Moore site on a paneled wall.
Yeah.
And
lovely.
I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like about any color that you painted on that wall would be beautiful. If you have beautiful moldings, they look pretty good in a lot of different colors.
Yeah.
So, but it is a pretty color. I would say that. Now it's interesting. Are we ready to move on to some of these other colors or did you have some more you wanted to say about the Metropolitan?
Oh, no, I think that we've probably covered it. It does say that it's a stylish gray with some cool undertones, but
it's a little bit cool, but not too cool.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not really reading the cool, but if you see that,
a little bit.
But I just think like a touch, I think it's pretty temperature neutral.
It's good. I think it's spot on. I don't think it's, that's right. No, I don't think it's too cool at all.
Where would you, before we go on to the other ones, because the other ones we're talking about is that they also have come out with 15 other harmonious hues that go with it.
Yeah. And I like the fact that they did this whole palette. And the reason I like that is there's a lot of colors that look fine in isolation. But I think the difficulty comes when you're trying to figure out what colors should I put with it. So I really like that they kind of did all these colors together so you can see, if I have these colors, this color is going to go with that color. And I think it was really a nice service to show those together.
Yeah.
Because I think that is really where people have a difficult time. Okay, but I have this color and this is pretty, but I don't know what goes with it.
Yes, right. And you have this color in isolation, and then it's like, oh, okay, what am I supposed to do that with? Before we move on, I want to say one thing, and then I want to ask you a question. So last year, Benjamin Moore's color of the year was Caliente. And as you can imagine, that's a red, and it's a hot, hot red. And I have to say, a little nervous.
Was it an oxblood red? I'm trying to remember.
It was hotter than that.
Okay.
It was like Penelope Cruz, like fired up red. It was just like, it was this hot, hot red. It was passionate. Okay. And I was a little worried we were all going to be dragged back to Tuscany. Not that I wouldn't want to really go to Tuscany, but
real Tuscany, right?
Yeah, real Tuscany. Very good. Yes.
But not suburban America Tuscany.
Anytime. But yeah,
1990s.
Exactly. Not a tiled, mural behind my stove Tuscany in my house. I was like, wow, I still would have stayed where I am because, that's what we tell you about, particularly Anita's style and now my style with this house. Like, I don't have somebody else's style. She doesn't have somebody else's style, and you shouldn't have somebody else's style either. But when everything starts going, a different way or boomeranging back, you're like, woo, what's going to be out there for me to get? Like, that's going to be hard. And I was like, oh, wow, I really hope we're not going back down that road because been there, done that. So for them to come back with the gray, phew.
Perhaps there was a bit of a backlash and people said, I don't think so. And they said, okay, we went a little too far.
Yeah.
Now we're coming back. We did something a little kind of wild and crazy.
Yeah.
Now we're coming back and we're going to be a little more reasonable and, come up with something actually useful.
Right.
that would look great on a wall.
Right. They're like, hey, Joe, how many cans of coriander do we still have back there?
Yeah, it's probably quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Let's make some gray.
And it's interesting. Did you see the first color they show here with the palette it's called Head Over Heels, which you cannot guess from the name, but it's kind of a millennial pink. I found that an interesting choice.
Yeah.
Considering that you hear millennial pink is no longer in, but it is on the color palette for 2019.
Well, I think like so many things, like people went hard with the millennial pink and the millennials, and everybody was having their avocado toast and painting their walls pink and stuff. I love that color, and it's kind of like a blush, It is,
it's
whatever.
pretty.
It's really pretty, and it's
but not for a wall.
No, but it's
not for a wall.
Stunning with this color.
Yes,
stunning, and with any gray, it would be stunning.
Yeah, I think it's a lovely color, and I think it would mix well, and maybe this would be some accent color, and we did have the episode, and we'll have to link to that in the show notes, where we talked about the ratios of different colors.
Mm-hmm.
So
60, 30, 10.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
So this might be something that's maybe a 10 or a 30.
Yeah.
Is the millennial pink.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
That's so I think it would be a nice.
Metropolitan is your 60.
Yes, absolutely.
I have had personal experience with two of the colors that are in this 15 harmonious hues, the Kendall charcoal, and that's been a Benjamin Moore color for a long time. And I have that in my house.
That's beautiful.
I love that color.
I think I still want a study with either Kendall charcoal or something closer to what they are calling Beau gray, which is kind of what would you call it? It's a very dark blue green.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
It's a very saturated color, but I just love that dark color on the wall, the kind of the English paneled study look.
Yeah.
I think that would be stunning. And I love my soft wall color.
Yeah.
But there's something about me that still likes the idea of maybe just one room with a really dark color on the wall.
Well, there is also in this collection the Hail Navy. So let me just say about the charcoal, the Kendall charcoal. I have that in my very small inside office in the house. It's sort of a very long, narrow. It's almost like a glorified hallway, but it has windows pretty much all on one side. And then I did some built-in cabinetry, and I painted the cabinets, the charcoal, the Kendall charcoal.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and even the top of the desk, it was just sort of paint grade wood. And we painted it that color. And I put into the cabinet doors, instead of having it just all solid, because it would be just like a wall of wood then, I dropped in these gold mesh panels that you can get at Home Depot. They're like $13.99, right? And I had my guy cut it just so it would fit. So you have the frame of the cabinet, and then the mesh is in there, but it's a tight mesh. It's not like a chicken wire. It's tight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, Kendall charcoal and it's kind of like a burnished gold. It is so beautiful together. It is a stunning color. It almost had. I think it would say like you would say it has sort of brown undertones, but it doesn't read brown, but it definitely warmer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think a gray, you want it a little on the warm side. You don't want it, you don't want it to feel like a service station.
I would err on the warm side.
I think so too. Yeah, and this looks like a lovely, lovely color. I haven't used this one, but it's beautiful. And then what did you say? The black pepper? That's the other one that you used?
No, the Hail Navy. So the Hail Navy.
Oh, Hail Navy. Oh, that is gorgeous.
Yeah,
that looks very trendy to me. That's beautiful.
But navy, so classic, right? So it could go anyway. Right. You could use
but
that.
But I'm just saying it's classic, but I think it's very hot right now.
Oh, yeah. So anyway.
Navy's hot.
Before they declared it, I have to say, I suggested it to my client, Julie, who I adore.
We knew you were ahead of the trend.
Yeah. So, you've been doing gray since, gray was invented. But Julie lives in Manhattan, and I have been working. She found me on my blog, whatever. We've been working together, and I actually got to meet her. I may have told you this, guys. This was last time I was in New York. I went to her home and I saw the things that we had done and got an idea of some more things that we would be doing together. And I had her paint her husband did a very good job. Painted an old armoire that they've had like kicking around for like seriously 15 to 20 years. And it was just kind of like orangey wood and it had sort of like some sort of bamboo-y thing going on. I mean, it was just like, but it was great because she doesn't have a lot of storage, and she was able to get a ton of her important things in there. So I said, let's just paint it. She's like, really? I thought I had to buy a new one. No, we're going to paint it. And you're going to paint it Hail Navy. Bam. Oh, it's so beautiful.
Oh, wow.
It's such a pretty color, you guys. It's, it's not so deep that it looks black. You really definitely reads blue, but that really great navy blue that you could pull off in a coastal home. You could pull off in Anita's dream study, in the Cotswolds, and she could have this study and watch the rain coming down.
Oh, I think that would be beautiful.
Yeah, you could pull it off in a mid-century. You could pull it off anywhere. So
yeah,
Hail Navy, definitely good one.
Yeah, and we have that room at the mountains, if we ever move there, over the garage, and it just has this one tiny window, but it has skylights, and it's not
the bonus room.
The bonus room, yes. And that's what I want to paint, one of these colors.
Oh, yeah.
And then I want to make it like a little room to, sit on the computer, or maybe just have some sofas in there to kind of hang out and maybe, I don't know, watch a movie in there or something.
Oh,
but I'm not going to bother with the TV. I'm thinking, and actually it's already available. You can get the projectors for your phone.
Right.
Have you tried those yet?
No, but you were telling me about that. Yeah.
I want to try that. So, yeah.
No, that would be a great room to try this color out. And because it's separated. So if you have a room like that, like it's separated, where you can have a little adventure with the color, give it a whirl.
Yeah, well, but Kevin still thinks that the ping pong table will stay there forever. So
I just laugh, Kevin, because that's so not true.
It's like,
so
you. No, it's not going to stay there.
So
of course, it's not going to stay there.
It's so cute that you think that. It's not going to happen.
So, yeah, well, yeah. And the smoke is a pretty color, too. It's a very soft kind of baby blue.
Yeah. So you guys should all go, because we're talking about the colors and you can't see them. But if you have a computer near you right now or on your phone.
And we'll include a link.
Yeah. You could just pop over to the Benjamin Moore and just put in, if you put in the color. So if you type in Metropolitan, then you should probably pull that color up, and then the palette will come up. Super, super pretty. And, I think that this is making a very clear statement that gray is here to stay.
Mm-hmm. Well, right, because they've picked, it looks like at least 3 gray colors here to include. And they've included a sage green that's really a very gray green. Mm-hmm. That's just really a gray with just a slight green tint to it. So that's... Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it is definitely an acknowledgement that gray is here to stay, and that people are looking for beautiful grays. And then I love the way they show these other colors with the gray.
Yeah, and the thing about gray is, and I think I really think they hit on something, is life is sort of crazy and busy, and it is very relaxing. As we say all the time, to have the neutral color palette. It sort of envelopes you in this sense of calm. It's subtle, but I really think it's true. If you're blasted with caliente, I love red. Hey, I'm a redhead. I mean, I'm pro red. I'm pro vivid colors in the right spots and the right doses. But to live with on your walls and in your bigger pieces, I just think that life is almost demanding us to go neutral. Well, and
I had a red powder room, and I had a red dining room.
I had a red dining room too. Actually, mine was almost like persimmon. It was stunning.
Yeah, I loved it. And yeah, but it's just kind of I'm out of that phase now. I got like you said, I still love red, but I'm kind of limiting it more to my dinner plates.
Right.
Smaller items.
No, I'm still lusting over those red transfer plates. Now you're not even going to send me a picture of them, because now I want them. Don't you just love a great recommendation from a friend? Well, we're delighted to be recommending these companies and their wonderful products to you today. And let them know your friends at DTT sent you. BritBox just keeps getting better. The new Archie is amazing. And it's not the comics. It's about Cary Grant. Archie is the brand new limited series starring Jason Isaacs as Archie Leach, the man who became Cary Grant. From the award-winning screenwriter of Philomena, Archie tells Grant's born in Britain, made in Hollywood story, the dramatic grit to glamour transformation that led him to become one of the most famous people in the world. You are going to absolutely love the acting, but also the styling, the outfits, the scenery. It's the first time his story has been told in collaboration with his daughter Jennifer Grant and ex-wife Diane Cannon. The performances from Jason Isaacs and the rest of the cast are amazing, and it's only available on BritBox. So sign up for BritBox today to stream Archie and other fan favorites from any device. And we have a special limited time offer for our U.S. and Canadian listeners. Get 50% off, yes, that's 50% off your first month when you sign up for a monthly plan. But only if you go to BritBox.com and use our promotion code DTT at checkout. You're going to love Archie. So head over right now and get 50% off your first month of BritBox. Use the promotion code DTT at BritBox.com. Green Chef is a delicious delight any time of year, but especially during the holidays. What a wonderful vision to behold as the Green Chef boxes on your doorstep. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit for eating well. And it makes eating well so easy with plans to fit every lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat a more balanced diet. So let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season. And if you've got guests coming, shop Green Bundles. They're now available at the Green Market. It's your one-stop shop for nutritious grab-and-go breakfast, including vegan options, brunch kits, wholesome lunches, ready-to-eat snacks, veggie sides, and more. You can feel your best this December and do your best with Green Chef because they offset 100% of the delivery emissions as well as 100% of the plastic in every box. Go to greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT and get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT to get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. I think that everybody's going to want to dive into these. And before I even knew about this, I think this was announced some sort of mid-October. I saw it, but I didn't really pay attention to all the other cues that were in there because as far as Metropolitan itself, since I have all my walls are all painted and pretty much freshly painted this simply white, and then I have used the Kendall charcoal when I wanted something deeper. I don't think I'm going to be painting any walls right now in the Metropolitan, but if anybody tries it, I would love to see some photos you guys could send to us.
Oh my goodness, I would
check it
love
out.
to see it.
But as I said, and my friend my client Julie, we're doing a few other pieces in the Hail Navy throughout her house to sort of bring it around. But I think I'm going to use the Kendall charcoal. I've been tossing this around in the bathroom in the barn. It's all white and I love it, but it feels like it needs something.
Oh, that would be so stunning.
I think
that
it
really
might
is
be.
pretty.
Because there's a lot of white tile and all of that stuff. So I think, it's just, I almost feel like at this point, we've kind of been living with some of the done rooms for almost 2 years now. Like, Peter's going to kill me. I'm like, it's kind of time to circle back and try a few things new. But I am going to do that for my girls because there's a big difference between being, 12 and 15, 12 and a half and 15. And there's a big difference between being 15 and a half and being 18. So their rooms need to grow a little bit with them and maybe become a little bit, a little more sophisticated.
Well, we did go through the phase where Edie wanted her room painted pink. Yeah. And I said, no, we're not going to, we'll do whatever you want pink in the room, but we're not painting the walls. Cause I said in a few years, you're not going to like pink. And then you're going to want it painted and I'm going to say no. Yeah. So we did not paint the walls pink and I was really thrilled. So when we sold the house, I didn't.
Well, that was the house you had to move because you had bad paint. Wasn't that one?
Yes. I had the.
So I guess you could have had it pink because you had to go anyway.
Well, yeah. But this house, she said, Mom, I'm so glad we didn't paint the walls pink because, she's not now. She's in a blue phase. So there you go.
Oh, she's in a blue phase. Okay. I never had a blue face. I could someday have, maybe
You're
Hail Navy.
You're going to have, I'm predicting now, you will have a blue phase.
Oh, wow.
If we can find a blue that goes with your hair.
Maybe by then I'll have blue hair. Who knows? Oh, how many years? Anita and I have been podcasting for 47 years. Is there anything left to talk about? I want to remind you that we are available for design consults. We take on your design dilemmas, questions, renovations, any project you want to talk about, any room, any space. We are here for you. And we really do enjoy doing these. And I think we've helped people a lot. So if you want to sign up for a consult, head to the link in the show notes. It's decoratingtipsandtricks.com/consult. We hope to talk to you soon.
I was at the store
Yes.
recently, and there was a lady ahead of me, and she said, "Oh, I like your purse." And it was a leopard print Kate Spade bag. And so we
Yes.
started kind of bonding over my purse. And then she said, that would look great in a pillow on a white sofa.
She did not say that.
She
to you.
did, out of the blue.
That's
It was
really
like-
weird.
It was like a secret handshake.
Yes.
It was like I knew she was one of us when she
Yes.
said that.
Yes.
It was like,
That's so
Lisa,
funny.
I love you.
Oh my gosh. Are you guys going for coffee? What's
Yeah,
for you?
well, that was in North Carolina, but I'm
Oh, you
sure.
did-
But
well-
I did drive by her house, and it's really pretty.
Well, there you go.
And that's not stalkerish or creepy or anything, is it?
No, not at all. No, I don't think so. No, she's one of us. Did you tell her she has to listen to the podcast?
Well, I did. I'm not sure she has, but yes,
Well,
it was
she-
mentioned.
It's going to be a good day when she tunes in. Okay, so speaking of tuning in and people that tune into us, we have so many people sending us. I think, people used to send us questions, but now that we said we're doing it every time, I think it's a constant reminder like, oh, I could send them a question. Maybe they're going to answer
Right.
it. So yeah, we've been getting so many fun emails and so nice. And it's so nice to get to know you guys and that know that you're listening. We just love it. So anyway, oh my gosh, this darling listener had a whole bunch of questions. And she also challenged me to a thrifting throwdown, I must say. I mean,
she doesn't know. You are the master.
I think she's pretty good.
But she's a throw. Okay,
she's pretty good. I mean, I said I'm up for the challenge, but maybe we just share the title because I don't want to outdo anybody, and I certainly don't want to be outdone, right? But so this is Caitlin B.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Caitlin.
Yeah, and she may also be known as Katie Beth, which I think is just so darling. I can't even stand it. But Caitlin B. Her email came in 2 different ways, so just want to make sure I'm getting it right, cover all the bases. So she discovered us in March, discovered DT in March, and she has listened to every single episode. So that's some binge listening.
Awesome.
She's finding the podcast to be fresh and inviting. And yes, it is. Sometimes we're fresh and we're always inviting. Okay, so she's got a couple of questions, but she did start off with saying, telling me how she thrifted 8 Civil War era newspapers for a total of $20.
Stop it.
Yeah,
okay,
that's
she
pretty
is
good.
challenging your title.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a legitimate challenge. Like if somebody comes to me and be like, I got something, I think it's ironstone and I paid $37 for it. I'm like, no, girl, I got you. But this is
gal, impressive.
Yeah, Caitlin might be giving me a run for my money. So she's got these Civil War era newspapers and she wants to know how to best preserve and ideas for displaying them. And I'll just tell you her second question is, well, as she used a term I had never heard, lifestyle movers. And I was like, is that like mover and shaker?
Can we do it one at a time?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Shall we? Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
We'll back up.
yes.
Okay. So how to display and preserve these newspapers? Well, I just did a little research for you and, Caitlin, you may have already done this research yourself, but this is what I was able to find. You want to obviously have very clean hands when you're dealing with them. You want to avoid folding them. You want to keep them out of the light. And if you want to just keep them, you can have them in a shallow, rigid box, and then you can have that archival paper that you'd probably put between, I don't know, if each sheet or certainly each newspaper. And you want to keep them in a dry, dark, cool area. If you want to actually put them up on the wall, you would want to use a UV resistant glass. Now, I know there is glass out there, and that company that's the new sponsor, Art to Frames, they have this special glass. I remember. Do you remember that when you were ordering that you could choose that?
I didn't order that glass, but I ordered the either reproduction, but their travel posters of France for Kevin for his office, and I've just ordered the frames from Art to Frames.
Right. So great. So I'm just giving her they're not a sponsor today, but hey, they're great and we love them, and they do have this kind of glass.
And they're inexpensive too. I think it's reasonable. So I think I would definitely check into that.
Yeah.
And
we got a discount. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head, but we'll put it in the show notes.
Right. Well, and having been a photographer for years, I've done a lot of work with archival items because, so yes, you do need acid free. If you're using a mat, you will obviously want that to be acid free. You're going to want to use acid free tape, and you're going to want to make sure the tape, well, I'm not even sure I would tape that though, because you really want to make sure that it's not going to stick to it. So I would find something that is going to be able to peel off. But if it's newspaper, boy, that's making me nervous about anything touching it. But the other thing is, I know from when I handled negatives a lot, I had gloves that I used. And so even clean hands can be an issue because your fingertips can be bad for these items. So I would use, if this is something you're really concerned about, I would use some cotton gloves that you can get. I'm sure they have them at Amazon or someplace, and that will kind of protect it. And you can get some that are lint free. That would be helpful.
Oh, that's smart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So I found the code for Art to Frames. So we'll just toss it in here. It's Art to Frames, and the code is decorating, and you can get 15% off. So that's just
and then I noticed on Art to Frames, she can get a big frame and then have cutouts for each item, so you can do it all in one frame, which I think might be a nice way to go.
Yeah, it might be a nice way to go rather than making sort of the gallery wall.
Yeah, just look at that. But that sounds really fun.
And I'm not a big fan of the shadow box. I know, like, that if you want to display certain things, like, but I don't know, they just don't appeal to me that much. And with a newspaper, you can obviously make it flat. Maybe, you
don't need a shadow box for
right. So either you do the cover or you choose a particular page that is really intriguing to you. Another option is if you didn't want to display them, if they're so fragile that you don't want to display them the way they are, you can scan them. I mean, I would, and you just have to be careful doing that.
That's not a bad idea, is to have it professionally copied. That's
right. You make a digital copy, then you can look at it. You could have it on your computer too. And I mean, who knows? These could be really, this might be Antique Roadshow types of stuff. Who knows? These could be worth
and that's impressive because a newspaper is very acidic and it usually breaks down pretty fast.
Right.
So I'm impressed that it's still around.
Right.
This much later. So kudos to you.
Yeah,
and then what was the second question?
I think maybe I shouldn't challenge her. I said, because she moves around a lot, which is what we're going to get to next. And I said, well, if you ever move to Southern California, then we're just going to take on the Rose Bowl together. We're just going to do it. But now I'm maybe a little afraid.
I don't know, because I went thrifting with my friend who's really loves the same things I do. And she got in front of me and she grabbed all the ironstone. I was like, Newman,
Exactly. Cross her off the list.
I know. Well, I had invited her, so of course I had to let her take all the best stuff.
No, you must.
But then it was, I know, of course. No, it was you take it, but you're not coming back with me.
Exactly. This will be the last day you see me.
But this is the last time.
Pesto pork chops over Parmesan polenta. Not that easy to say, but oh, so easy to make with Green Chef. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit company for eating well, and we have such a great deal for you. You're going to save $250. Listen on for the details on that. Green Chef makes eating well easy for any lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat more balanced meals. We're getting into the busy holiday season, so it's a perfect time to have Green Chef help you out. Let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season with their chef-crafted, nutritionist-approved recipes featuring fresh ingredients and nothing artificial. And you know what? You don't have to lose track of your healthy eating habits during the holidays. Every Green Chef customer gets a free session with their registered dietitians who will walk you through how to make clean eating work for you. So sign up for your free session and start on the road towards better health today. And that deal I want to tell you about, visit greenchef.com/DTT DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. So that's greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. Inevitably, with the new year come wellness goals. One very effective and easy to reach goal is to add Dose to your wellness regime. Dose is expertly formulated organic wellness shots that support your liver in one delicious drink. Formulated with ingredients clinically shown to support liver health. Potent turmeric, milk thistle, and ginger. There's 0 sugar and 0 calories. Did you know that your liver performs over 500 special functions? Since I learned all that my liver is doing, I started with Dose to support all those vital functions. I take a shot of refreshing Dose 2 times per week to combat everyday toxins from food, meds, alcohol, and unhealthy air. Since starting with Dose about a month ago, I am definitely feeling an overall improvement in my health. So if you want to give Dose a shot and invest in your health like I have, Dose is offering DTT listeners 15% off your first order, plus an additional 15% off if you subscribe for a monthly delivery. That's 30% off your first order. So go to dosedaily.co/DTT and use the code DTT. That's dosedaily.co.co/DTT and use the code DTT. Okay, so the other part of this with Caitlin is that she used the term, well, we're lifestyle movers. And I was like, mover and shaker, lifestyles of the rich and famous. What is she talking about?
Right.
Military. She moves a lot.
Yes.
That's why she might be moving to Southern California someday. So the question was, how do you make a space, a home, new home, immediately cozy?
Oh, wow. Well, first I want to thank she and her husband for their service. And I know she's not active military, but she's supporting him and she's making big sacrifices. So I want you to know that we appreciate that.
And she's the ripe old age of 22, doing all this.
Yeah. I appreciate you doing this so much.
Yeah.
And making these sacrifices. Well, I think that's a tough
So we're going to come and make your house cozy.
Yes. Where are you?
Where are you now?
Yeah.
So making a house. When I was growing up, my aunt and uncle were in the military and they moved around a whole lot. And every time in between each of their moves, they would come to my grandma's house and she lived across the street. And I grew up an only child, and to have my 6 cousins arrive across the street in their big yellow station wagon was like Christmas Day for me, like so much fun. And they would stay for like a month in between, wherever they went. So I, just watched from a distance to see, and I'm sure it was so hard on my aunt to have to do this over and over again and pack up your belongings and go. And I never really considered it until this question came through and like, wow. The other thing is to be hard.
So the other thing she's got to keep in mind is she's moving from house to house to house. So, sometimes you buy something because it fits your specific space.
Right.
Well, she doesn't know what she's going to get every time. Right. So it's, so it could be so different. So I think the first thing is you probably need smaller sized furniture so that, and kind of generic furniture that's going to work in about any home. So
a neutral palette, perhaps?
A neutral palette. Well, now that is an excellent point, Kelly. I think one of the things I would say is to keep with a limited color palette for all of your things, because you're going to probably, as you move, something may end up in one room in one house, and the next house it may end up in a different room. Right. And if you have a similar color palette for all of your rooms, then you can easily shift things from one room to another very seamlessly, and you won't even have an issue with that. Whereas if each room is a different color, then you're kind of getting into some trouble moving things. So I think that's one thing that I would keep in mind. And I think maybe there's some kind of comfort things that I would want to pull out, that maybe a special comfortable throw that's important to you. I mean, I would kind of maybe have this box of comfort things.
Oh my gosh. That's the craziest thing. I have my notes here. Bins of cozy. Like that was my note. Like, okay. Just like you would have Christmas bins. Like,
we don't tell each other ahead of time what we're going to say.
That was kind of freaky. I mean, bins of cozy. Yeah. Whether it's 2 or maybe even 3, depending on how deep you want to go into your cozy.
But these are the things that make you feel comfortable, the things that make you feel like this is home. So you and then maybe make sure that box is open first.
Yeah.
And those are the things that you set out. So whatever that is, maybe it's a special pillow, but also, and you probably know so much more about moving than I do, but I know, you probably want to mark those boxes of the stuff that you're going to need first to open first, like the bedding for your bed.
Right.
I mean, I know the pictures on the wall seem to be one of the last things that get put up anyway. So I'm not thinking artwork to make it instantly cozy, because I think that kind of takes you some time to decide where those things go. So I'm thinking, getting the furniture set up, getting those pillows and the throws set out so that you can curl up and have some time with your tea or your coffee while you're listening to Decorating Tips and Tricks.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking 3, like a living room cozy, kitchen cozy, because there is something about, I gravitate, and we all know Anita's morning routine, which is absolutely lovely. But I gravitate towards my same mug every day. It's one that my daughter gave me, and it just feels good. If I don't, sometimes if it's in the dishwasher and it didn't go through or something, I'm like, darn, like I just want to have mine. Let me wash that. I want to have mine. So if you had these things that seemed comfortable and familiar, and I would break it down to living room, kitchen, and bedroom.
I love that, because for me, it would be, maybe put this in one special box. So for me, I want my special tea and my teacup, my silver spoon. You don't need a service of 12 of sterling silver, which can be expensive, but one special silver plated or sterling spoon is really all you need for that morning tea. And that's a lot cheaper. So I think that's a great idea, that morning routine or whatever it is, that stuff that makes you feel just very comfortable and cozy, that goes in that one box.
Right. And I would put in one of them, whether it's the kitchen or the living room, or either of those 3, any of those 3, I should say. Put a vase that you like, a real simple one, maybe a white one, something. So when you go to the market, you can get yourself some flowers, pop it in. So maybe adapt a signature scent that is a certain candle, or whether you like essential oils and use
spray.
A diffuser or a linen spray.
Put your lavender linen spray in there so you can spritz your pillow before you go to bed.
Right. So then the house starts to smell like you guys. So there's some continuity and it's these comfortable items. It's a scent. It's, ability to just put some flowers in a vase. It's just creating this sense of home almost immediately. And I think that's what you were looking for in that question. So I hope we helped you answer it. And we are, after all this wonderful stuff, we're also getting a tip. So rifting off your mirror, reflecting the outdoors and making the room bigger and brighter and lovelier and enjoying the outdoors. So Caitlin suggests, if you can't do that because there's not a window opposite or something, place a mirror so it can reflect art that you love or something else really pretty in your room, even if it's not the outdoors.
Oh,
isn't that a great idea?
That.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and we feel like we're your BFFs too, babe. So stick with us and, keep us posted where you're moving around, and keep those tips coming, and definitely let me know your next thrifting adventure. And I would like to join you.
I know. Yeah. We'd love to come along for the ride. Well, thanks so much for joining us today. We love hanging out with you, and we love hearing from you. Please drop us a line, decoratingtipsandtricks@gmail.com. And remember, we're here to inspire you to create a beautiful home. Until next time.
Hey, everybody. We want to thank you so much for listening to Decorating Tips and Tricks. And we want to make it even easier for you to listen. And it's easier if you subscribe. You just click the subscribe button on our website, www.decoratingtipsandtricks.com, or you can subscribe through Apple Podcast or any of your favorite podcast listeners. So until next time.